Hey everyone, I'm going to talk about the 3 stages of awakening which appear to play out in time as implications of this awakening. Not that awakening is a process. There is no process to get to the immediacy of awakening, because what are we talking about awakening from? Awakening from the dream of being identified with the identity in the mind chatter or this particular body form, and it's the revelation of yourself as more than that, as bigger than that, as this consciousness, this awareness, this beingness as which everything appears. That's what you're waking up from, that dream of thought, to this isness, this pure amness, spaciousness as which everything appears. You're waking up to that. But the you in the story in your mind can't wake up, because that's the question, isn't it? Who or what is going to wake up? There's a you that thinks that you have to do something to wake up, perhaps. And yet that you, that doership that's trying to do something to wake up, is the illusion to begin with. The cosmic joke is that it's hidden in plain sight. This isness, this beingness, this just awareness as which everything appears, this pure immediacy that's right here, right now, is the awakening that you're awakening to. That's what you're awakening to. But that character in the mind story is not the one who wakes up, is it? It's the awakeness, as it were, the awareness that kind of wakes up to itself. But it always was, in a funny kind of way. Once you come back to timelessness, it is clearly seen that the illusion didn't really happen. It was only apparently happening. You could have never have been taken away from yourself, because you already are yourself. You already are this beingness as which things appear and disappear, this spaciousness as which everything appears. Consciousness, awareness, beingness, whatever you want to call it, it's all pointing to the same thing. So this is what you could call self-remembering. Some people have a problem with the term realization or self-realization, and I can kind of see why, in the sense that it's not some kind of new information that you add on to some kind of intellectual well of knowledge or some extra new piece of information, but really esoteric and mind-blowing in nature. It's actually a subtraction. It's actually a falling away of identity to particular concepts, to particular ideas. And that's the train going past, which you can't get away from trains in London. So apologies for that. So that self-remembering is always here for the taking, as it were. It's always now. Wasn't there a book written called The Power of Now? Presence. What is appearing as this presence? We could say present moment, but that doesn't really make sense, does it? In the sense that the present moment is this idea that there are moments in time, whereas in reality, this is timeless, and there is this apparent time in the illusion. But it's always measured in relationship to something else. It's always based on memory. and an idea of the future. Prior to all of that, there just is this isness. And so that's stage one, as it were, the revelation of that. And then you could say stage two is resting as yourself, or being knowingly consciousness, being knowingly this beingness. And stabilizing in that. Because there can be this recognition of your true self, not the identity in the mind story or the form of the body, but this consciousness as which everything appears. And then it's like the mind character, the mind story seems to take over and your attention gets lost in it. And that seems to take you over. Because as implications to discovering yourself as more than the body and the mind, that doesn't bypass the need for the body and the mind to realign with this revelation. Like, if you really are this pure presence, this pure peace and love, this already accepting space as which your experience appears, if you really are that, how is that going to be reflected in your thinking, feeling, and behaviour? And I'm kind of skipping ahead to stage 3, but that's a prelude to stage 3, realigning your behaviour to this revelation, realigning your thinking and feeling to this revelation, and that plays out in time. But prior to that, we've got this revealing of the nature of your true self within this dream, within this experience. It is seen that this is the dream, and then it takes on a more dreamlike quality to it. It is seen that your true nature is this peace, and so there's this unfolding of things in life, as in the way you think and the way you want to be in the world, that is this like alignment, this blossoming of your true nature as peace in your life. Because if you prioritize peace, if you prioritize yourself, there is natural implications of that. You want to do things to heal the emotional body, to create things in the world that bring more peace or joy or whatever is the most important for you. Those implications naturally arise from there. If you make peace and happiness your life purpose, not by seeking it out there, but by realizing that it's already here, then there will be implications to that revelation. So you could say that stage 1 is like awakening, but then stage 2 is like staying awake long enough for the implications of awakening to unfold in time, abiding in yourself, self-remembering, self-abidance. And then you could say there's a stage 3 where it's living the implications of that revelation in this appearance, in this world, in this dream, however you want to refer to it. And that could look like emotional work. That could look like trauma work. It could look like some kind of healing. It could look like expansion with various projects. But it's not like there's nothing to do. It's just the do. The question is, on whose behalf is that doing coming from? A separate limited entity that feels this lack? Or this consciousness that naturally just wants to expand and learn and grow and just be more of itself? Just actualize more of itself in the world. And so you could say this is like a blossoming of the implications of understanding ourselves to be consciousness in the world of form, in time, living this understanding in the world. And so in summary, these 3 stages could be summarized as awakening, staying awake, and living the implications of awakening, of this understanding, this revelation in the world. And so that concludes the video. I would never want to try and sell you awakening. It's right here, it's right now. If there is a desire to, get some help with the integration of this, then I do the Awaken Aware program, and a few more slots have opened up for a free one-to-one with me or one of my team to see if you'd be a good fit for that over at speaktoalex.com. There's only a few spaces left at the moment, so if you're interested in that, tell me about your current challenges and desires, and we'll look at seeing if we can help you with your challenges there. So that's speaktoalex.com. Peace and blessings. Love you all. Peace.